As Jessica Prater stood before a judge this afternoon, she looked back at people in the courtroom and began to cry. But outside court, even some of Prater's friends said they think she's guilty.
I just can't believe my best friend would do this or allow this to happen.
Tiffany Guzman said she wanted to be clear she was not in court for Prater, but to seek justice for Prater's 5-year-old son, Zachary. And what did she tell you?
That they were spanking him with a belt and leaving marks because he was getting into their things.
Also arraigned today was Prater's boyfriend, Adam Caldwell. Paramedics were called to their home in Orangevale last week for what was initially reported as a drowning. But when they got Zachary to the hospital, they discovered other injuries.
Difficult case.
Absolutely. Yeah. Very difficult.
Prosecutors have charged both Prater and Caldwell with murder and assault leading to the death of a child under 8. But an earlier charge of torture has now been dropped.
I know a lot about Mr. Caldwell, his lack of a record, those type of things, but what happened and under what circumstances and what the allegations are based on, I don't know yet.
Friends say Prater has had trouble with drugs in the past, that she and Caldwell have known each other for just a couple months. They say Zachary loved wrestling and animals and was due to start kindergarten in the fall.
He was just so active and outgoing, full of life, full of love. Always loved to give you hugs and say I love you, and just sweet.
Now, neither Prater or Caldwell entered a plea this afternoon. Both are due back in court later this month. Live in downtown Sacramento, David Beanie, KCRA 3 News.
All right, David, thanks.
Now to Commitment 2016, on the eve of the California primary, the Sacramento County Registrar's Office has seen nonstop traffic as voters drop off their mail-in ballots.
I want to do my civic duty. I wish there was less excitement and people weren't so agitated and confrontational and rioting in the streets and things, but it's our American democracy and we have to participate.
And we have team coverage as California counts down to tomorrow's election. KCRA 3's Linda Muma is live in Stanislaus County with how the voting process is going after a printing error left a race off the original ballot. We start with Mike Lurie, though. He's live in Sacramento with the issues that are motivating people to get out and vote. Mike.
That's right, Colson. The mobile ballot box that you see behind me is really a sign of California culture. There's someone dropping off their ballot right now. It's been a busy place all day. People coming both on foot and by car to drop off their ballots and to be heard on the big issues. Things like immigration, jobs, peace, and war. Those are the big things we're hearing about. Also, California now a state with nearly 18 million registered voters. That is the most ever for a June primary.
In Sacramento today, you can vote without ever leaving your car at the drive-through ballot box. That made it easy for Lucas T. to drop off his ballot. He's an immigrant from Cameroon and very motivated to vote.
I just don't like the ideas I'm hearing, scaring me.
We go. For Don Neely, voting is a chance to teach his granddaughter Brooklyn a civic lesson about getting involved and letting politicians hear his frustration.
They take and run everything the way they want it, which isn't right. They're supposed to be working for us, and they don't.
Oliver Smith is frustrated with politicians, too. He told us,
I'd like to see us not be fighting wars anywhere in the world, and peace at home, peace abroad, and just love one another.
There are now more than 717,000 registered voters in Sacramento County, a new record. And already 121,000 of them, or roughly 17%, have returned their ballots. That's more than the entire vote-by-mail turnout for the 2008 June primary. Jessie Abrams Hall is 82 years old and never misses an election. But today she told us she is feeling relieved.
I always wait till the last minute, and I could not find my ballot. So I had to come all the way down here from Elk Grove to get a new ballot.
One thing new for many people this year, those with no party preference can vote for a presidential candidate in the Democratic primary, but you have to request what's called a crossover ballot.
The burden is upon voters to ask for a crossover ballot, and not every county implements this procedure the same way. In some counties, they will invite you to cast a crossover ballot if you show up at the polls and you're no party preference. In other counties, the burden is upon the voter to speak up and say, hey, I want a crossover ballot.
And be sure to check with your local election officials to find out what the rules are in your county. And remember that the polls are open tomorrow in person from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. Reporting live in Sacramento County Elections Office, Mike Lurie, KCRA 3 News.
All right, Mike, thanks for that look out there. And thousands of Republican voters in Stanislaus County are turning in replacement ballots today after a printing mistake left the names of candidates off of mail-in ballots. KCRA 3's Linda Muma live at the elections office in downtown Modesto, where voters are now dropping those ballots off. How's it going, Linda?
Well, Golston, today we're seeing envelopes come in two different colors. Of course, the green, which are the regular absentee ballots, and then also the yellow, which are those replacement ballots that we're talking about. Nearly 24,000 of those yellow envelopes went out a few weeks ago to voters in two districts in Modesto and Oakdale after the Stanislaus County Elections Office says the vendor who printed the ballots for the county elections failed to print the names of the Republican candidates for the Central Committee race. The company then reprinted the ballots and sent them out to the affected voters in time for them to be filled out and then sent back in for the June primary. Right now, the election office says that it's too early to tell how many replacement ballots were sent back in today, but they're encouraged by the number of yellow envelopes arriving each hour.
We have about 40% of our voters are absentee. We have probably received 60 or 70% of those as of Friday.
And we saw more of those yellow envelopes just dropped off here within the last hour or so. They're about to wrap things up here at the mobile drive-through ballot box. So if you didn't get a chance to head out here today, of course, they'll open back up for the presidential primary at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Reporting live in Modesto, Linda Muma, KCRA 3 News.
Yeah, a little wrinkle in there in some voters' plans. Thanks, Linda.
Now to the presidential candidates. Hillary Clinton on the verge of securing the delegates she needs to clinch the Democratic nomination. By an Associated Press estimate, she is now less than 30 delegates away with a total of 2,360. Bernie Sanders has 1,567. Even so, Sanders says it's not over. He's been campaigning hard. And in Alameda County today, he said he will still try to win as many delegates as possible while making his case to the superdelegates.
My request, obviously, to the people of California, to those people who are prepared to stand up and fight for real change in this country, is please come out and vote tomorrow.
Meantime, Hillary Clinton could get an official endorsement from President Obama as early as this week. Today, she was in Compton calling for unity after the primary to beat the presumptive GOP nominee.
We've got to be unified going into the convention and coming out of the convention to take on Donald Trump and to repudiate the kind of campaign he is running and make it very clear that's not the kind of president or commander-in-chief we want.
Now, speaking of Donald Trump, as you know, he already has the delegates he needs to secure the Republican nomination. But supporters were at his headquarters in Natomas today, calling and urging people to get out and vote tomorrow. Today, Trump is not backing away from his charge that the federal judge in the Trump University case is biased because of his Mexican heritage, and that has been angering some top GOP officials. Well, 6 states will hold primaries tomorrow. In addition to here in California, voters will head to the polls in Montana, New Jersey, New Mexico, North Dakota, and South Dakota. For more on those races and, of course, all the California contests, you can check the KCRA 3 app. You can get voting information and election results right on your phone.
Other news right now. Stockton man is dead after police say his friend's pit bull attacked him. And this is new tonight. Neighbors say this wasn't the first time that dog has attacked. KCRA 3's Melinda Meza is live in Stockton now with the latest on the investigation into exactly what happened there. Melinda.
That's right. Well, the Sheriff's Department is still actively investigating this attack. Right now, we are live at the Stockton Animal Shelter, where 2 smaller pit bulls who joined in the attack are being held and quarantined. These 2 young pit bulls are being held at the Stockton Animal Shelter. They both began biting a man who was already being attacked by a full-grown pit bull.
It's crazy. It's crazy to think about it.
The mauling happened Saturday on North Gertrude Avenue in Stockton. The victim, 43-year-old Earl Stevens, was visiting his friend when the attack happened.
When he arrived there, and in company of the dog owner. The dog was friendly and they went into the house. Well, unfortunately, he went out by himself to go and get some cigarettes out of his car, and that's when he became under attack from the pit bull.
Sheriff's Department spokesman Les Garcia says the owners tried to get the dogs off the man, but they say the animal would not stop biting.
I heard the owner screaming, I guess when she was beating him off or trying to get him off.
The pit bull then advanced towards the deputy, and the deputy had to use deadly force and put the pit bull down.
Well, some neighbors say these dogs seem friendly and they've never seen any problems, but other neighbors tell us they've witnessed this dog attacking before. One neighbor who did not want to appear on camera says the older dog named Harley had attacked a woman about 6 months ago, but she did not report it. The Sheriff's Department and Animal Control says they have not been to the home on any vicious dog calls prior to Saturday's deadly attack.
I'd never seen him go crazy like that or what he did. That's sad and scary.
Investigators are still looking for answers and do not know what will happen to these 2 young pit bulls. Meanwhile, the pit bull Harley is being tested for rabies, and there will be an autopsy for the victim. The Sheriff's Department is hoping to get more answers as they investigate. And then they tell me when they complete their investigation, it will then be up to the district attorney to decide whether the owners could face charges. Reporting live in Stockton, I'm Melinda Meza, KCRA 3 News.
Melinda, thank you. And still ahead here at 5, a health warning for people in Roseville after a train fire over the weekend.
I'm Kathy Park. I'll tell you what that fire left behind and the cleanup still ahead.
And who's to blame? A week after a little boy fell into that gorilla enclosure, we learn whether the boy's mom will be facing any charges.
After our first round of real heat this season, the Delta breeze is beginning to work. I'll show you the changes we'll feel as we go through the rest of the week in just a couple of minutes.
Tonight out of Roseville, small specks of oil dotting plants, homes, even signs after a locomotive fire sent oil and soot into the air over the weekend. And now health officials are telling people in the area not to eat any vegetables from their outdoor gardens, among other warnings.
KCRA 3's Kathy Park is live for us in Roseville, where she's been talking to neighbors about this health alert they're now under. Kathy?
Well, Edie and Golston, the good news is that the health alert is now over because the smoke from yesterday's fire moved out of the area pretty quickly. Now behind me is a maintenance area in the rail yard where the fire broke out, and as a result, that black soot traveled across the street and into this neighborhood, impacting dozens of homes.
We stayed inside most of the day yesterday.
A Sunday spent indoors for Desiree Maynard and her family, and the reason was just a few blocks from her Roseville home.
The air was hard to breathe more than other days.
At 7 o'clock in the morning, a Union Pacific locomotive engine broke down.
Too much smoke in everything cars.
Instead, it sucked in oil, which caused the black smoke to come out of the locomotive and a little bit of fire.
While the flames were quickly put out, the smoke lingered, traveling across to this neighborhood. You can still see the residue left behind on plants and even Daisy's paws.
She's covered in oil from her paws all the way up to her shoulder here, and those aren't spots, that's oil. And you can see she's getting it on me.
It's a rare occurrence, but it does happen. And we apologize to the Roseville community for any inconvenience.
Some residents even had to seek medical attention as a result of the black soot. And while respiratory concerns are gone, there's still more cleanup ahead for crews.
They've cleaned most of the cars on the street right behind us here. And I think they're going to work their way a little bit farther up and do that. So leave it up to them is best.
And while this resident is breathing easier today, she still would have liked more answers about what happened.
A notice on the door would be nice.
And if you're a homeowner impacted by the residue from this fire and still have questions or concerns, you're asked to contact Union Pacific. Reporting live from Roseville, Kathy Park, KCRA 3 News.
All right, Kathy, thanks for that. Well, to West Sacramento, a man accused of robbing a bank is now in custody. Police say the man walked into the U.S. Bank on Merkley Avenue about noontime, handed the teller a note demanding money. The man then drove off in a car, but officers caught him a short time later. Officers were also able to recover the stolen money.
To Ohio now, the mother of that 3-year-old boy who fell into the Cincinnati Zoo's gorilla exhibit will not be charged with a crime. A zoo response team shot and killed that gorilla as they were trying to protect the boy. Police have been investigating the family's actions, and today the prosecutor said he is not seeking charges because the mother was being attentive to her other children.
If anyone doesn't believe a 3-year-old can scamper off very quickly, they've never had kids, because they can, and they do.
The zoo has since replaced the old barrier with a new, taller barrier. That exhibit will reopen tomorrow.
To Louisville, Kentucky now, and fans continue to show up at the Muhammad Ali Center, leaving flowers, balloons, and even boxing gloves as the world continues to mourn the boxing legend's passing. And tonight, we're learning more now about the public services to remember Ali's life. The first will be in Louisville. That's Thursday, an Islamic funeral prayer service. And Friday will be followed by a 19-mile funeral procession. This morning, we heard from Ali's daughter, who said that she does not feel alone in her grief.
I prepared mentally for many years that, obviously one day I was going to lose my father, and that time has come, and I think that the whole world is sad.
Speakers at a Friday afternoon service will include Muhammad Ali's wife, Lonnie, former President Bill Clinton, and good friend and comedian Billy Crystal.
Let's check in now on KCRA 3 weather. Obviously another warm day for people all across the state, and yeah, look at that. Athletes in Modesto taking advantage of the heat to train for all conditions. In fact, some of the boxers at the Modesto Boxing Gym are also wearing what are called high altitude masks, which simulate training in areas with lower oxygen.
Yeah, so
as if you needed to make it more difficult. There you go.
Dropping weight for sure out there for some of those boxers. Let's check in with Mark Fine, and our job seems a lot easier than that, Mark, don't you think?
Absolutely. But